job is fine. Your career, that's a different conversation. Because right now, while you're comfortable, while you're busy, while you're just living your life, recruiters are actively building lists of people they want to poach, people they're going to call, people they're going to sell dream opportunities to. And there's a really good chance your name isn't on any of those lists. Not because you're not good at what you do, you are. But good doesn't get you recruited. Visible does. Positioned does. And right now, you're neither. The good news, this is completely fixable. And that's exactly what the next 20 minutes are about. In the next 20-ish minutes, you're going to learn exactly how to flip that script without quitting your job, without blasting out your resume, and without doing anything that feels awkward or disloyal to your current employer. This is about positioning yourself so that when the right opportunity shows up, and it will, you don't scramble. You're already ready. And the recruiters, they're already watching. Real quick, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mary Southern. I'm the founder of Resume Assassin. And over the last decade, I've helped more than 4,000 people land jobs at places like Microsoft, Google, Netflix, Tesla, and so many more. And what I've noticed, the people who land the best roles, the six-figure jumps, the dream companies, they almost never got there by panic applying. They built something quietly, in the background, while they were still employed. That's what we're talking about today. Here's how this is going to go. We've got 7 moves. Some of them take 10 minutes. Some of them take one conversation. All of them are things you can do this week, not when you're ready to leave, not when you get a weird feeling about layoffs, right now, while you still have leverage. Because here's the thing about leverage. It disappears the moment you need it. So let's build it while you still can. Stay to the end because move number 7 is the one that most people have literally never thought of. And it might be the most powerful one on this list. Comfortable at work creates a cognitive blind spot that makes you actively worse at job searching when you eventually need to. There's actually a psychological term for this. It's called the status quo bias. Our brains are wired to protect our current situation, which means the longer you stay comfortable, the harder it becomes to see the risk that you're sitting in. Think about this. The average job search today takes 3 to 6 months. Companies do layoffs with 2 weeks' notice, sometimes less. So if something changes tomorrow, a new boss who hates you, a merger, a restructure that magically eliminates your position, you're starting from ground zero. Cold resume, cold network, cold everything. Meanwhile, the person who spent the last year quietly building their presence, they get 3 recruiter messages in a week and have a new offer within 6 weeks. Stop thinking about this as job searching. You're not job searching. You're doing career maintenance. It's like going to the gym, right? You don't have to go to the gym when you're sick. You go so you don't get sick. Same energy. So from here on out, the goal isn't, I need a new job. The goal is, I'm always hireable. Say that out loud if you want to feel fancy about it. I am always hireable. Good. Now we're moving on. Move number 2, learn how recruiters actually think. Recruiters aren't scanning job boards just hoping that you've applied. They're actively hunting. And they have a very specific psychological bias toward people who are not actually looking. Here's something really wild. There's an unspoken rule in recruiting called the passive candidate premium. The idea is that someone who isn't desperate is more attractive. It's basically the dating advice, play hard to get, except it's actually real and it works. When a recruiter reaches out to someone who's happily employed, they know they have to sell that opportunity. They come in with better comp packages, more flexibility, faster timelines. You have all of the power. When someone applies from desperation, the recruiter senses it. The energy is different. The negotiation is harder. The outcome is usually worse. So here's the move. You need your LinkedIn profile to send a very specific signal. Not, I'm looking. That can get weird with your current employer, right? And not, I'm totally unavailable, because then no one reaches out. The signal is, I'm a high performer who is open to the right thing. Practically, that means your headline cannot just be your job title. Your job title is not a brand. It's a label. Nobody's excited to reach out to senior manager operations. They are excited to reach out to, I help companies scale ops without the chaos. 10 years, 3 industries. The headline tells a story. It says, I'm good at something and I have range. That is like recruiter catnip. Move number 3, turn on the open signal, but in the right way. Dan has a feature called Open to Work, but there's a version of it almost nobody uses, and it's the one that you actually want. Most people either ignore this feature entirely, or they turn on that big green banner that says Open to Work for everyone to see, including their current boss, their boss's boss, and that nosy coworker who definitely talks to everyone. There's a third option, and it's the stealth move, you guys, called the recruiter only setting. Go to your LinkedIn profile, click Open to Work, and instead of making it visible to everyone, select recruiters only. LinkedIn does not guarantee that your employer won't see this, but it specifically filters it from anyone with a regular account. Only people using LinkedIn Recruiter can actually see this. This means you're quietly broadcasting to the exact people that you want to reach without waving a flag to your entire workplace. Then, and this part really matters, fill out the preferences. Be specific, right? Role types, locations, industries, salary. Recruiters search these filters. If you leave them blank, you're basically putting up a sign that says, me with no phone number listed. Take 10 minutes, do it today. Like literally, after you watch this video. Move number 4, build your evidence portfolio. Biggest reason that most people's resumes are really weak is not that they haven't done really impressive things, it's that they didn't write it down when it happened. The evidence portfolio fixes that permanently. Here's how most people write their resume. They sit down when they need a job, try to remember what they did for the last 3 years, and end up with just vague bullet points like managed projects and collaborated with cross-functional teams. That tells a recruiter nothing. And honestly, you deserve better than that. You've done real stuff. You just can't remember it when you're stressed and you're staring at a blank document. Right now, not later, I mean like right this second, open a Google Doc, title it Career Wins, and every time something good happens at work, you write it down in this format. Situation, action, result, number. Here's an example. Our office was taking 3 weeks and causing early turnover. I rebuilt the workflow and cut it down to 9 days. Retention in the first 90 days went up 22%. That's a resume bullet right there. You just did the work in real time. No stress, no guessing, no vague corporate jargon, right? Add it to monthly. It literally takes 5 minutes. And when you eventually update your resume, whether that's in 6 months or 3 years from now, you're not starting from scratch. You're editing a highlight reel. Also, this is the same doc you use when you ask for a raise at your current job, or a promotion, or when you're in a performance review and your manager says, "So what have you been up to?" You just take a look at the doc. Done. Move number 5, activate your warm network. And it's not who you think. Your next job will most certainly come from somebody that you already know, but probably not from the people you'd think to call first. There's this really famous sociology study from the 70s, and it still holds up today. It's called the weak ties theory, and it's by Mark Granovetter. He found that 3 people are more likely to find jobs through acquaintances than through close friends. Why? Well, because your close friends live in the same world as you. Same industry, same network, just same information. Acquaintances, people you haven't talked to in a year or two, they're in a completely different circle. Different companies, different industries, different opportunities you'd never hear about otherwise. Here's the move. Once a month, reach out to someone in your network that you haven't talked to in a while. Not to ask for anything, okay? Just to reconnect. James, just was thinking about you. Saw you moved to Google. How's that been? Would love to catch up with you sometime. That's it. No pitch, no resume, no I'm looking for opportunities, just human connection. What you're doing is warming up relationships before you actually need them. Because the moment you reach out to someone and immediately say, "I'm job searching, can you help?" you've made it awkward. People don't like feeling like it's a transaction. But if you've been keeping that relationship warm, when the time comes, it's completely natural to say, "Hey," most employed people have absolutely no idea what they're worth on the open market. And that ignorance is costing them money every single year. Salaries at companies get compressed. It's just how it works. The longer you stay somewhere, the smaller your raises tend to be because the company has you. Meanwhile, new hires are coming in at market rate, which has been climbing. It's not uncommon for someone to be making $15,000 to $25,000 less than what they'd be offered somewhere else for the exact same job. But you can't negotiate what you don't know. So do this quarterly, okay? Take 30 minutes. 1, research your role on LinkedIn Salary, Glassdoor, and levels.fyi if you're in tech. Filter for your location, your years of experience in your industry, and get a number. 2, look at 3 to 5 active job postings for roles that are similar to yours. More and more companies are required to post salary ranges. Screenshot them, save them. 3, have a conversation with a recruiter. Not to leave, but just to listen. When a recruiter reaches out on LinkedIn, instead of ignoring it, respond with, "Thanks for reaching out. I'm not actively looking, but curious about the role. What's the comp range?" That conversation is free market research. There's one conversation. It takes 10 minutes, and it's something that almost nobody thinks to have. And it positions you for literally everything: raises, promotions, internal mobility. And it makes you infinitely more attractive if you eventually decide to leave. Most people wait for their annual review to talk about growth. That's the worst time ever. Your manager is stressed, they have a stack of reviews to write, and comp decisions were often already made like 2 months ago. You're having a conversation when it's already too late. The people who get promoted, who get the big raises, who get tapped for new projects, they manage their career proactively, in real time, in casual conversations. That question does 4 things simultaneously. It signals you're ambitious without being threatening. It gives your manager the chance to actually invest in you. It surfaces feedback before it becomes a problem. And here's the sneaky part. It documents that you're actively developing, which becomes part of your promotion case. But here's why it also helps your external positioning. Every piece of feedback, every project, here's what we need from you becomes material you can add to your evidence portfolio. You're simultaneously doing your internal career management and building your external resume at the exact same time. 1 conversation, 2 outcomes. That's the move, y'all. Okay, let's bring this home. Here's what we've got. Move 1, shift your mindset. You're not job searching, you're doing career maintenance. Move 2, understand recruiter psychology and write a headline that makes you the one that they chase. Move 3, turn on the recruiter only open to work setting today. Move 4, start your evidence portfolio. Situation, action, results, number. That's it. Move 5, reconnect with 1 person in your network every single month. No ask, just warmth. Move 6, run your market value check quarterly. Know your number. Move 7, have the 10-minute career conversation with your manager. Internally and externally, this changes everything. Here's what I want you to walk away with. You already have something most job seekers desperately wish they had: a job. That means you have time, you have leverage, and you have the luxury of being really selective. The only way you lose that advantage is by ignoring it. The people who land dream jobs aren't luckier than you, they just started earlier. And right now, you're earlier than you think. If this hits different, and I really hope it did, do me a favor and share this with 1 person who needs to hear it. You know someone who's comfortable right now and probably sleeping on their career. Send it to them. It might be the best thing that happens to their entire year. And if you want help actually building your resume, your LinkedIn, your entire career package, head to resumeassassin.com. I'll see you in the next one.